Brothers of Internet, and welcome to this video where today I have a Mercedes-Benz C-Class, the C63 AMG in this case, because I wanted to show how to build a good C-Class car, and this one is heavy and powerful basically, and it's got a V8, and it's likely at least a good overall car if you want a car for B-Class, or at least it's the car that I happen to have in my garage that just starts off at the top of B-Class. So, you know, this is the one we will be using as our benchmark in many ways, and then we will be attempting to build a car to beat it. Now, close the door. Yes. Luxury. Anyway, this is probably one of the more featured cars you'll be able to use in B-Class because it has, well, everything. It has electronic everything on it, compared to a track car which is likely to be Spartan, at least if you do weight reduction and everything. I'm getting sidetracked. Anyway, we have this car is going to do 5 laps around Long Beach, and then I'm going to see what time I was able to achieve. That's a new word I think I just invented. Achieve. I'll see what time I'm able to achieve, and then I like the clock. And then we will be tuning our new vehicle, taking it round Long Beach and seeing if we can beat the car. This should be quite an interesting video, so I hope, otherwise no one's going to watch it and my analytics will go down loads, which is not what we want to happen. Okay, so here we are at Long Beach to hopefully see how good it is, and I was just staring at a black screen there. That won't have much entertainment value. Anyway, let's go. Speed. And immediately I notice the speed is more than I would normally have in a C-Class vehicle. I hope this doesn't transfer into the Benzo and have really bad cornering. Ooh, come on. It transfers into the brakes, definitely. I've used cars in this class that feel like they brake a lot better than this. Maybe it's just heavy, you know? It is a heavy car, and maybe that's just why it's so poor under brakes. I feel I can work with it though. It's not so bad under brakes I can't work with it, and it does feel easy enough to drive and I can control it. You'll see there, I did floor it out of a corner and I got a huge slide, but this thing is able to just about find grip in all of that, and just about able to, I feel, get quite quick times with it. Oh dear. Yeah, I'm just thinking, I hope I get better. Oh, that was a sorry mistake for me. I'm hoping I get better performance out of my next vehicle I'm going to build than I did out of a hearse I built, which was just demolished by a Corvette, and I'm not going to make this corner. Oh! I hit an invisible wall, thankfully. It's not quite as embarrassing as just flying into the barrier there, but it did look like that was the case. The front brakes just gave up there. I mean, what is this? A 1970s muscle car? Seriously. 1970s, 1960s more like, where they had so much power they just couldn't slow down. The 70s, they often were a bit more conservative with power due to the emissions regulations and everything. Speed. Speed you will make me. And on to the next lap. Hopefully that will be better than the first one. I do still have headlights. I don't think that means very much at all. And I'm going to brake early because I know I'm going quick. It's also going quick. That helps with the braking being poor. I don't know. It doesn't help the braking performance is probably what I should have said. And because I just don't feel the speed as I would in something built for the track, which would be lower, and that would have... Well, I had odd audio glitches. Anyway, on we go. I go in the wrong gear. That's not a good start. Brake, brake, brake. No! Find a barrier for a second time. Seriously, I will get a good lap out of this though, and when I do, be scared, whatever you are. Be scared. I don't know what car it is, I've not decided yet, but be scared of the mighty stock vehicle that's kind of full of plastic and stuff and not as much full of human as it should be, which just doesn't make much sense. But anyway, I wonder what times we're setting as it is, not very quick ones, because we are hitting the barrier, I would say, and that is never a good way to complete your lap times. Whoa, whoa, what am I doing, what am I doing? Oof, that was a pretty aggressive wall bump there, but I think it's fine, since we're not on the clean lap we're trying to do now. I'd given up on second lap ages ago. Come on, how fast can you go? How fast dare I go, should I say? Brake into here, brake too early, I would say. Speed! Slow, no speed, whoa. Just get the power right here, if you could hear me probably trying to balance it out there. Ooh. And again, it's just all the speed of this vehicle. It's hard to put it down in B class. There's just so much of it. With race suspension, it could probably help, I will admit, if it sat a bit lower on the suspension. I don't know for sure though. And to be honest, I wouldn't be bothered to change it. I just keep it as it is. Slow it down. Come on. Let's hope 4th or at least 5th lap is better. If 5th lap isn't better, I don't know what to say, because 5th lap, you know, even if I have to give up on all speed, I will in order to get a lap. And I had the same problem there I had on the first lap, only to a lesser point. The problem is whether I can use the ABS and kind of carry it out, or whether I can just give up because there's no point in continuing. That is where the problem lies. I may at first think that I can get away with it, but then I can't, as it turns out, and it, you know, I can't fight it. It's fighting the barrier would just cause more damage than just going to a break and then coming to a halt, sorry, and then backing up and continuing. Well, I can at least, you know, get on to the next lap well, and braking here at exactly the right point. I can feel that. That was exactly the right point where you wanted to be to brake, so I didn't do badly there. Come on, lap 4, yes, I'm hoping, yeah, I was hoping, sorry, it was lap 4, not lap 5. Acceleration, yes, yes, good. This so far is a very good lap. I'm getting a bit of a slide here and there, but it is getting the power down. You see -3 seconds there over what I've done before. Brake into here very, very early, and then try and just accelerate out in the middle of third gear should give us a good drive there. I would say short shifting, but it's not short shifting. I was just in that gear already. Oh, that was pushed so close to the barrier, but I got away with it. And here is a real one that concerns me. Right, I'm going to slow down a little early here. Yeah, I did, but it wasn't too bad. It was very early slowdown, remember? And that is at least getting us our lap time, because, oh, yeah. I'm being quite conservative through the last corners, because by that stage, I would rather just not throw away the good times I'm having than try and get that bit of time off the corner. Now, 5th lap, I've got a good lap. I've got a 1:36, at least good by what this car can do. It feels quick. All I have to do is try and get quicker and not wreck the car into a wall. And by the looks of it, this lap is going better. I think I've finally got the hang of it now. The brakes are not so good, but it feels like I know the limits of the vehicle a bit better than I perhaps did before. You see there, I was just adjusting the steering and power inputs to get everything just right for when I was going. Oh. Speed through here. That was probably not the best corner in the world, I will admit. And brake through that. Accelerate. And into the next gear. This is possibly better than before, I don't know. No, we're plus time. There's a chance we could save some time. That was probably a better braking zone. If anything, we saved a bit of time there, but will it be enough? Likely not. I was just checking I'd not invalidated my time, and no, I hadn't. Ooh. I would say I messed up that last corner, but to be honest, on lap 4 it weren't so good either. So that's something to draw from that as a conclusion, I guess you could say. And 1:38, 1:36, so we're about 1.5 to 2 seconds quicker, I'm guessing. Very good so far. Let's see how the next car compares. Okay, so here we have all our usual culprits that you would typically buy if you just wanted a pick it up and go C-Class car, and I'm sure they're not half bad, especially not for the money. You can get a fully working class built vehicle. My C63 isn't here though, you can't buy it, presumably you have to win it in a wheel spin thingy, whatever you call them these days. But there's still a bunch of cars you can get of varying specifications. You can get a G-Wagon, it'll handle horribly apparently, but you can still get a G-Wagon. Lotus Carlton, Subaru WRX STI, probably what I would choose if I had to choose one of these. And let's see what the braking is on a comparative more modern saloon then. The Audi is probably the closest we got. Come on, get onto the Audi, I want to go in the Audi. No, it really doesn't want to go in that Audi, does it? There we go. Braking is only 4.1 on that, and braking on this is 4.4, so you get the idea. Braking is not the highest numbers for the class from what I've seen. However, if you want to tune something, you'll have to look at the very highest, I think, the bottom of C class, because above that it gets hard to put any parts on. And as I was saying, the bottom of C class, although my game crashed for whatever reason, yeah, we have a few things here. Again, we have a Golf R32, which almost brakes as well as that Audi, which is pretty impressive, considering the Audi had about 200 horsepower more than this does. We have the Nissan Silvia as well. That brakes better than the Audi, despite being a smaller, lighter sports car. Any of these will probably be quite good. You just have to remember you'll be a lot more restricted if you try and build up on them. The Veloster Turbo, I actually have one of those in C-Class even, because it was a free car and, you know, I had to find something to do with it. So I built a C-Class car out of it. Anyway, we have a few down here in D-Class. I imagine something like the Corsa would do quite well if built up properly, although the top speed is quite low for something with 200 horsepower. This is something I'm going to end up talking about a lot though, because the top speed is important on these cars. You're never going to get a lot of power out of it, at least once you build them up for handling. So you want something that starts with a good score. I don't want a big laggy turbo mobile, so I won't be going with a 2002 turbo. I'll be personally going with something E-Class. That's just me. I mean, you might have a difference in opinion, and I'm not here to dispute that. It's just, this is what I'm going for in particular. Ooh, I do like this, I will admit. How quick is it though? We have to look at the power. It's only got 114 horsepower, which to a point makes a low top speed forgivable. However, this is still just slow. We have this. Generally, if a car looks somewhat like a Bullet, it is quite aerodynamic. This is 115 horsepower, yeah, it gets a 4.6 for handling. Not the worst in the world, but still not the greatest. We have a Scirocco 16 valve. That is not as impressive. Really just looking through this. This is a pretty good one if you're into these kinds of classic roadsters. I believe the 300 SL is, I think it's called, is the Mercedes version, which is quite good as well. 165 horsepower, yeah, it still gets a 5.0 for speed. Now, I think I'll go with a front-engined rear-drive Alfa Romeo or Nissan, because they all often have quite good six-cylinder engines. The inline sixes in the Nissan are pretty good, and as are the V6s in the Alfa Romeo. Now, I feel inclined to go with a inline six, but I also feel there's a certain appeal to building one of these V6 cars up, the GT V6 specifically, because it has all this horrible plastic bodywork from standard, and you can put body colour bodywork on and actually clean the car up quite a lot, make it look much nicer. So there's always its own appeal to that. You know what? I think we will do that. Should make the video slightly more interesting, since there are body parts available to this that wouldn't otherwise be available. We'll paint it black again to hide what bits of black plastic remain. It helps that this is a cheap car, buy it with a stock part, because it gives us more freedom, I feel, to upgrade. Although it's in my head, yes, I still feel it gives me more freedom. We can go, first things first, I think we want to lower it and fit bigger wheels to see what bodywork suits it after that. I put huge wheels on all my cars because it looks cool to me, even if it isn't functional. I know, just to me it looks cool, and that's what matters. Ooh, are they going to look okay? I don't know. I really don't. I don't know how big they specifically go. They're no lighter, but they look cool to me, so I'm going with them. Yes, 19s up from 15s. 80s cars don't tend to have big wheels, that's for sure. I wonder how wide they are. And the PC is crashing again. But we have 195 width tyres. I say the PC's crashing, the game's crashing, not the PC. There's a huge difference there, but what tyres can we get? 245s, they're not too bad for a C-Class car. You'll struggle to manage them on a higher class vehicle, but for a C-Class they will be just fine. As you see here, we can get much cleaner bodywork. Hard to tell with body colour here, to be entirely honest, but I think that one looks good to me. It's kind of jaggedy though, it's not really smooth. That one might be plastic, but it's kind of smoother in places. I don't know. Nah, I prefer this one, definitely. We can have a wing, although that has kind of got plastic bits to it. I think it makes it look sportier, hence why I would go with it. And that looks strange. It either is unfinished or it's a rally bump of some kind. And that one will go there. We can change the side skirts to cleaner ones once again, and wow, as if by magic, it is a much cleaner looking car. We have this one as well, Bonnet Scoop here. Bonnet Scoop here. To be honest, the bonnet isn't too bad as far as these things go. There's that one, but that's a bit ugly. To me, at least. What is the difference between these two? I'm going to take this one because it saves weight, but I honestly don't notice much difference. Is it slightly taller? No? I don't know. Is it a fiberglass version of the same bonnet? That's all. The only other the only other thing I could think of that might be causing it. If we lower it some more as well, because more lowness looks cool to me. How low can we get it? We can get it an inch lower. Okay. That's something. And immediately, look at that. I've not done much to the vehicle, but it already looks nicer than it did. Before it just looked really cheap and plasticky. Now it's actually showing itself to be quite a neat little race car. Perhaps if I go with some gold striping as well around the black piece of trim on the side, that would make it look a bit more purposeful somewhat, or at least make it look a bit more in with the design. I believe this has drum brakes on the rear, as that is. Very tiny drum brake. You're not going to have huge amounts of braking performance from them, are you now? I wonder what we could upgrade to. They reduce the performance points, which I don't know. I feel it shouldn't be the case, but it is. So that's what it is. It is what it is. We have various engine bits. What engine swaps do we have? Although I have enough money, I'll be unlikely to do it unless the engine really isn't that great. We have a much heavier Skyline engine, a V8, which will go in now, but we've only got 4.0 for handling. I didn't pay attention to the speed rating of this car, it's only 5.0. How much power is that with? I should have paid attention. Ah, that's with 500. That's with 555? No, that's with 155 horsepower. So we should be fine then. Once we've increased the power to say 210. Oh no, we're not going to be fine. We're not going to be fine. Everybody panic. Oh no, we are. Where's me worrying? It does 150. 155 I think is good for the class. You can get cars that do a lot more, but if it can do 155, you should be solid. So we have various tyres we can add. This is only just into C class now, actually. Should that be concerning me? Probably. But anyway, we can fit all kinds of tyres here. 5.1 for handling, and we're only just into C class. And we've got some speed to play with. This is looking good. Only, I don't want another Volvo situation, like that Volvo I had, where the gear ratios are just too long to realistically work with. Braking performance is actually very, very good from this. Given that they are the standard brakes on a very old car, the racing tyres probably help, but not like I have a choice of that, because it's got to be 5.1 handling now, only just when I've thrown everything at it, and I'm being stupid. Weight reduction, we want that. We will be able to take the tyres off, so it won't stay at the very top of the class for long. I normally go with tyres and roll cage. No, I normally go with weight reduction and roll cage. Although, in this case, I forgot. Honestly, I don't need to come up with a better idea for an excuse. I just forgot. Do I want narrower tyres? I don't know. I think wider would be better for braking, personally, because when they're, 195 to 255, that is quite a distance to go. But I don't know. Have a look at the differences. So, what do we have for braking then? 4.9 if I go on race tyres, but narrower race tyres. We will get... Where is it hiding? 5.0. I think that's generally a slightly better handling car. I don't see a particular draw to go with wider tyres though, unless it needs a grip, because race tyres that are still narrower, they will have less weight to spin, remember, which is always a positive thing at the end of the day. I do need to check the gear ratios briefly. It is getting a fair slug of power that it didn't have from standard, which is always helpful, to say the least. Acceleration isn't perfect, but it could be worse. It's got a 5-speed, and the gears are all pretty well spaced by the looks of things. They could be better spaced, but that's asking a lot, to be honest, for a stock car to have brakes spaced better than this. We have this. It seems to add slightly to the acceleration front, but I don't think that's that important, let's be honest. We'll need a differential if we want full adjustability. And brakes, if I can, without much strain. Ooh! I like that, taking off quite a few performance points. However, look at this, race brakes. Although they add a bit of weight, they have the same performance points as stock. They take a bit of handling, but they increase braking so much. And that handling, it's not bad. 5.1 is a good handling score for the class. So I think we might be onto something here. Have we put the camshaft on? Oh yes, I didn't explain my reasoning though. Here, it usually gives you a slightly flatter power curve on the high end, as you'll see, and stops power just cutting off as aggressively, usually. And that is good, because it means you can stay in the good part of the power band for longer. Also, I'm going with exhaust and intake manifold. It's become a kind of tradition with me, because it enables me to pull more weight out of the vehicle, and that is good for handling. Just a bit of handling you can gain from the engine, really. Now, all I've got to do is try and find the right parts to get it to the top of the class. Like that one. Exactly, +7 there. I could either go with a lighter clutch, a lighter flywheel, or both, or maybe failing that, a drive shaft. Yep, They both failed me. There we go. A lighter drive, so just try and balance the parts as best I can. Could still go for transmission, but what's the particular need? I don't go with that because it's not worth it in this class. Same with the aero. Other than the aero I've gone with. Adjustable aero is what I'm referring to in this particular case. There's no particular need for it. So we've got 240 horsepower here. Power curve I would say is half decent, and it does 155 miles per hour outright. That's good. Power curve is not the best in the world. I've had cars which, I think like the Volkswagen Rabbit I had, which is really flat. Just low power cars of this era with lower power engines. The power curve flattens out beautifully. This may have some speed restricted actually. Where was I? Gearing. It may have some speed restricted by the transmission, but that's fine. 155 is good enough. It's where you want to be with a C-class car. You know, any more is excellent to have. Any less is where I would start getting concerned, where cars start going slower. No, apparently it's not restricting our top speed though. So we've only got a 5 speed in this, remember. However, it is a very good 5 speed as far as these things go. We'll also want the differential. I want that to be down just a little because it can cause the car to oversteer quite aggressively if you have that really high. Same with that. And brakes, because we've fitted adjustable brakes, I should be able to do this. Hopefully get it under 100. Although that is a lot to expect from a C-class car. If you can get braking performance under 100, 60 to 0, like so, that is a very good point in the standings of things. 97.6. I need to look at the 100 to 0 as well, sorry. Yeah, that's good. So if it actually brakes as well as it claims it does, then this thing is going to brake like nothing. Brake far better than the Mercedes at least, that's for sure. So, all in all, I think we've got a decent build here. I don't think there's much more to tune. The transmission is locked. I can't tune any of these features. That's why I was saying it's good to have a transmission like this that all the gear ratios are pretty good from standard, because it's just locked. You can't do anything about it. The other thing I can do though, differential and the tyres really. Just soften the tyres up to hopefully get a bit more grip out of corners. Although that's apparently slowing it down under acceleration, and we don't want that. Okay, are you 28.5? That's good. 28.5? No, not good. So there we go. 5.5 seconds 0 to 60. I've seen quicker, but again, not bad. So even if everything individually about this car is distinctly average, I think collectively it should be a well-balanced car within its class. Also, if we hopefully close the bonnet, will you let me close the bonnet? Yes, you will. And hopefully we can look in the boot. I would imagine in real life, though, the equivalent of this car would have a much more stripped out interior. But there we go. It is a much more simple interior, which is what you want in a track car. You don't want all the added gadgets and technology that they put in the Mercedes. It's just unnecessary. You just want all the brakes, you want all the power, and you want a good power curve from a nice engine like this has. That's strange. I'm sure I didn't used to be able to rev the engines up in the garage. Oh well. Back to the track. Okay, so here we are at the track where I have my vehicle. It looks quite good actually with the black and gold wheels. Anyway, let's get going. I think this sounds better than the Mercedes. A lot more noisy. As it would, I guess. It's got a V6 exhaust. I'll also mention now that for the top speed, it's not the most aerodynamic car in the world. If you're looking for that, you're better off looking for something probably from the 90s or the 50s and 60s, because those cars were designed from the outset to be aerodynamic. This is more of a affordable sports car with the boxy look of the 80s, which we loved at the time, and thus it has not got the very best aerodynamics, but it does go through the air decently well. 240 horsepower and 155 is not bad. Mind, I did have a Honda, I think it was about 23 horsepower less if I remember correctly, the Prelude from the early 90s, and that went about the same speed. So you get where I'm coming from here. It's just, although it's good for the class, it's not the best power to speed ratio. Mind, this is just beautiful round corners, I'll say that now. The grip is lovely. Oh, brake. And again, I can just step on the brakes. That's something that the Mercedes didn't have. I could just step on the brakes. I think the Mercedes was a 1 minute 36.5 for its quickest time. I'll check for certain the exact time, but for the time being, we're counting it as a 1 minute 36.6. 5, sorry. And on we go. The one place the Mercedes does feel better is speed, where naturally it has more than double the horsepower. It would feel better. It's slower than it feels, perhaps. I don't know. Both this and the Mercedes felt quick, but I would say this feels quicker. This feels like you're flying round the corners. Mind, that was the opening lap, and the opening laps are never the quickest. As I learn the car and the tyres heat up just a little, it should be able to achieve the times I'm desiring from it. Ooh, almost did the same oversteering moment as the Mercedes though. Remember, it is the same drive line essentially. It is front engine rear drive, it's just got a old Alpha V6 instead of the twin turbocharged V8 that the Mercedes had. They're also kind of saloons, so you can see where it comes in. These are both different vehicles, yet they come to the same point. And to be fair, I have got 2 more performance points than the Mercedes had, but I don't think that's going to make much difference, let's be honest. It's a tiny difference, and I just wanted to use a stock vehicle to show how it would compare. That's what I had in my garage, so that's what I used. It just feels so nice to drive though, in a way the Mercedes didn't. The Mercedes felt almost like it was doing a lot of the work for you. It felt quite disconnected as well. Whereas this, it does feel in contact with the track all of the time. 140 there, I think that was an improvement. It says my best lap's at 145, that's because it was valid. Whatever I did on lap 2 was not really validated, but it was, however, 5 seconds quicker. Whoa, that's invalidated this lap. Oh well. I can feel this is a car though. This is a car that once you get used to it like I am, you'll just be able to extract times and extract tenths and tenths of seconds off. The Mercedes didn't have that feel. It was a bit boaty, if I'm entirely honest. It was not bad. It wasn't the most boaty car in the world, but it was more boaty than this and a few other track vehicles are built. I would say that for certain. I think even when I drove, I said it just doesn't feel like a track vehicle. Did a bit of an oversteering moment there. As we go ahead, I think I really need to step on the brakes. That's something I was doing with the Mercedes. Although the brakes weren't great, I was using them as much as anyone could use some brakes. So I think I need to do the same thing with sorry. And that might achieve me better times, because it's just using the car to its maximum ability. These vehicles should be about equivalent. This should be maybe 1/10 of a second quicker, but it shouldn't be that different between them, is what I'm saying. So, last lap 140.29. Oh, we're on lap 4 already. How time flies when you're having fun, eh? Come on through here. Yes. So, brake. Try and accelerate. No. I keep thinking though, that sign at the barrier. I don't know what it's for, but I keep thinking it says BeamNG. Oh. Somehow this lap is valid, and I don't even know how. I bumped a wall in a way I was sure would invalidate it. And yeah. Maybe the gods of Forza are being nice to me, come on. Yes, just grab the car's wheel and make it perform miraculous feats. Come on, that should have been invalid! I'm doing so many things that should invalidate this lap, and still it's not invalidating this lap. It's just half the power, and what am I supposed to do with it? I'm pushing this vehicle as hard as I possibly can, and the lack of power is not helping one bit. As much as I like the feel, as much as it feels quick enough for me, it's just not quick enough. However, consistency-wise, I'm pretty sure I could be more consistent with this car. Ooh, this is good, this is good. Again, 1 minute 40 is able to do really consistent 1 minute 40 to 1 minute 41 laps, but I just can't seem to beat those times, those laps. It's just, I can't really go faster, although I can do what this vehicle loves doing at a very consistent speed. I'm going to go for it now. Final lap to properly go for it, and I say that because I was going for it. I managed to. Yeah, I'm having a terrible driving moment now, okay? Fourth lap was about as good as I was ever going to do. I tried round every corner to push this thing, and it's just clearly beaten by the Mercedes. Unless I got the time drastically off and it's 1 minute 46 in that car, this really does feel like it deserves a faster lap to me, though. It just feels that much more of a track car. Which maybe that is its shortcoming as well. Maybe it just handles too well. Maybe it handles too precisely for its own good. And that is suffering for power because of that. I know I could probably lose a little handling on this and add a little power if it was necessitated, but it's not a front wheel drive, nor is it a heavy muscle thing, so I'm pretty sure that would just make it twitchy trying to reduce tyres or something. Ooh, having a bit of oversteer there, but the best thing I could think to do was to try somewhat to keep it together. Ow. That hurts. And this is not going to be a quick lap, no. Fourth lap was amazing, though. Or so it felt amazing, I will admit. Okay, so what do we learn from this experience? Well, building your own C-Class car is a waste of time. However, if you build your own C-Class car to your own handling taste, you can build something that's able to get more consistent times. And you can build something that's able to drive in a more enjoyable fashion, I could say, to you. As far as speed goes, yes, it's undeniable the Mercedes is quick. It's over 4 seconds quicker. We have a 136.611 for the Mercedes and a 140.820 for this. So that's easily over 4 seconds slower. However, even though it was over 4 seconds slower, I would rather take this into an online lobby, because I feel where you have to navigate a lot of cars flying off the circuit, the grip would just be so helpful there, and just the power that you can use out of corners would have the same effect on the drivability of the car. And the Mercedes, it would just bobble about all over the place and struggle to stop for the first corner, and then someone would ram you off the track. So in that regard, yes, you can build a car better than the Mercedes, because it's just suited to doing everything track-based in a better way. However, I'm going to leave it here. The Mercedes is also still quicker. I can't lie about that, it's just blatantly obvious. But anyway, until next time, goodbye. Until another day.